welcome to the Microsoft Cloud Option webinar series. My name is Vivek Bhatnagar. I am a CTO and founder for UnifyCloud. So as we talked about governance and other aspect of things, then what about monitoring? And monitoring story in Azure seems very, very solid right now. And Azure offer many services together provide you a comprehensive solution for collecting, analyzing, and acting on telemetry from your application and the Azure sources that support them. In addition, these services can extend to monitoring like critical on-premises sources like hybrid environment and Microsoft has released something called Azure Arc, so which is like beyond the scope of the session, but Microsoft has released Azure Arc, which will allow you to run and monitor some of the Azure services on premise and bring and look at those assets in cloud only. The main service which I always recommend to use and think about is Azure Monitor. And Azure Monitor is basically help you in monitoring all kinds of assets in Azure, and it's very well integrated. So just one click while creating a VM, and that VM will be integrated with Azure Monitor. You can very easily store your logs, and you can query and analyze the logs. You can set up alerts and actions, send those to your cell phone, other things. So it's very, very important service and highly, highly recommended. The other important service which was like must go is Azure Security Center, and which always focus mostly on security, but it also monitor all aspect of security. So strengthen your security posture and protect the threats. But so it is combination of security and monitoring together. And Azure Security Center is free free also, and then if you want to have a advanced feature, then you can have a paid version also. But these things are available for you to use. The other services which I always love to have on my cell phone is Azure Service Health, which is overall health. Like in failures do happen, like and a lot more time Azure services work in a degraded fashion. And so Azure Service Health, if you install Azure admin module on your cell, is very useful. It will tell you the Azure status, service health, or resource health. So in case of any problem, you actually get a lot of indications on your cell phone, and you can act accordingly. The other important service around monitoring, which is like give you very useful information, is Azure Advisor, and it will give you like mainly like 4 type of recommendation. It will help you in management of costs, or basically inform you if you are not using Azure resources or in an optimal fashion. So if you're overusing or underusing, it will give you an indication. It will also help you to improve your operational aspect of things. It will give you indication if you're doing a mistake in security or you have a problem with your availability. So again, like these services are important aspect of monitoring an aspect. With this, like it basically brings us the last part of our discussion, at least on Azure setup guides, is how do we stay current? And it is a challenge, I'm telling. Like it always like look like that it's easy to stay like current on Azure, but it's not so easy. Like you have to invest in hours and hours of reading a lot more on Azure in case you want to stay current. But the good thing is that Microsoft has provided a lot of help on this. So they have Microsoft Service Health that you can read on all your cell phones and understand Microsoft updates. The only problem, they release too many updates, so you have to spend time. Then Microsoft blocks, and there are very specific blocks. So for example, Azure networking blocks, Azure storage block, Azure compute blocks, and these blocks are really a source of information early on. So there are like whenever Microsoft introduce a new feature, these blocks are very helpful because these blocks are official documentation. By the time Microsoft add that documentation into their online documentation. And finally, Azure Info Hub, which will provide you information. So these are the standard Microsoft provide you, but I also like to introduce some of the community assets, and I also find all of these assets are very, very helpful. particularly like Azure chart, which actually lists down nearly all the changes. And sometimes I just go to Azure chart and look at, okay, what things Microsoft released this week. Or you can hear some of the podcasts from Azure Weekly or Azure Advisor or Azure Friday, like where you can go and learn about new technologies. So it's community driven, but it's very authenticated content which is coming from a Microsoft.